All right, guys, I hope you have your pen and paper ready because we bring some amazing speakers to the DC Super Saturday. I am super pumped about this amazing woman who is changing lives and has a phenomenal team. She is a 15-star diamond coach. She's elite top 10 in 2013. She's elite as of last year, 2014. She's in the Millionaires Club. All right, listen. And top 20 coach since 2012. So she has some credibility. I hope you guys have pen and paper. You're listening, ears on. Everybody stand up. Give a big warm welcome to Lauren Duke.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm not sure to dance or what you do with that. I don't know. It's really hard to follow a success story, you know, because it gets you all emotional, gets you fired up, and then kind of bring it down and have teachable moments. I'm a crier, so one of my coaches has already given me Kleenex, knowing what's about to happen. So I'm just gonna tuck those away. And my daughter is literally texting me, asking me, can I go out tonight? And I'm like, I'm busy. I'm about to go on stage, honey. And she's like, yeah, you and Daddy don't trust me. I'm like, not a good time. So, now I've lost my notes. I'm gonna take a little bit of a different spin. I really like talking about the power of your story, and I'm not gonna, well, yeah, you really turned me up. Okay. I really like talking about that because it's an obstacle that I really had to overcome in my own business to move forward. How many of you joined Beachbody because of someone else? Someone reached out to you, invited you, shared with you. Okay, probably all of us. Like, you didn't just go seek out a coach. I didn't. Somebody came to me, they shared their story, they shared their pictures, they shared their. It was them. That's how I became a coach. I saw a friend of mine was posting at Summit, and I just fell in love with what she was saying. And here's this mom who was traveling away from her kids, and she was crying, and she was talking about success stories, and about lives being changed, and about transformations. It was her experience that I was drawn to. So of course, I was like, where are you? What are you doing? I want to be a part of that. And I did. I have that crazy Summit story that corporate likes to tell. I got in my car and I drove to Summit. I signed up as a coach on Thursday and I went to Summit on Friday, and my coach says, Lauren, your mouth was open for 24 hours. At one point she reached over and went, and tears. I was overcome by their stories, by everyone else's experience. Someone losing over 237 pounds, Richard Neal. You know, Tracy Morrow and other incredible leaders, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to pop the microphone, sharing their story. But I didn't take it that next step. I didn't see that I needed to invest myself. So I thought, oh gosh, I'm just gonna go home and I'm just gonna share inspiration and everyone's gonna flock to me and they're gonna just jump on the bandwagon and they're gonna wanna be a part of Team Beachbody, right? Yeah, no. It's not like, okay, I'm here. Y'all come to me. It didn't happen that way. I did grow very quickly because I was so excited and so inspired. Then I hit this huge roadblock. But what, I'm taking pictures. Well, I'm holding my phone. Awesome. So I hit a roadblock in about 3 months. Rise really quickly and then, well, now what? Where do I go from here? So that roadblock made me stop. Something was holding me back. On the outside, you saw this coach who was just inspired and on the rise and attracting people. But I felt like such a fake because I really wasn't sharing me. I was just sharing someone else's posts and someone else's, Pinterest inspiration or something I found on Google, but I wasn't interjecting myself into my business. So I looked to others. What's working for them? How can I do what they're doing? How can I emulate them? This keeps flipping, so it's like not cooperating with me. What was working for them? you know, if it was working for them, surely it would work for me too, right? But that's not the way it goes. We're each unique. We each have our own special little something we bring to our businesses. We each have something very special to share. And so that's what makes us special as coaches. I tried everything. I was looking for my thing, my niche, and I'm still kind of looking. I kind of know who I'm reaching out to, but I never know who's going to be inspired by what I share. So, what the heck was my why? Someone said, well, what's your why? And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Kind of breezed past that part when I became a coach, and I just went full blazes into sharing inspiration. So that took me a really long time, and it's something that continues to morph. So don't think that you have to get a why and stick with that, because it'll change with every phase of your life. So my why, like I said, I joined because of someone else. I joined because someone else shared, but I never took the time to make that leap to what was I going to put out there, what was my message. Because I was part of Team Beachbody, right? I just had to work out and show results and all that stuff. But there's so much more. So here's the hard part for me, and it might be the same for you guys. I first had to allow myself to dream. One of my dear friends, her coach is Dare to Dream, Jessica Nelson. Love her. And that was something that I never allowed myself to do. And why? It was such a foreign concept to me. A little bit of a backstory. We're a military family. So, a dream to me at this time in my life when we lived in California was getting through a pay cycle without having to whip out the Visa card. Because we were maxed out. We couldn't make it to the end of a paycheck without needing just a little bit more. And so we were digging deeper and deeper into credit card debt. And we really didn't want to. It's not like we were living frivolous lives, it was just life. And we couldn't find a way to cut. So that to me was like the biggest thing I could think of as far as a dream. But my life up until this point had been issued to me by the Air Force. And don't have a choice of where we go, when we go, when he goes, where he goes. Don't have a choice, never have. And so I stopped dreaming a long time ago because I was so tired of being disappointed. I had hitched my wagon to everything that was his. My husband is Chris, he's awesome. So just don't want you to be like, oh, what a jerk. No, he's awesome. It's just the Air Force, and it's a great life, don't get me wrong. It's an incredible life, and I have family all over the world. Who else can say that? You know, everywhere we go, we meet people, we make friends, we get established, and then we say goodbye. That kind of hurts my kids, but they're resilient, they're awesome. But they do want to go out tonight, and are texting me right before I'm getting up here. So, all of this blabbering, all of this trying to be funny, what changed? What had to change? My view had to change, and I had to remove that roadblock that I had placed in my life. Just like you guys might have a roadblock that you've put up in front of you. I'm sorry, I'm popping my peas. It's mental, it's emotional, it's something you may have gone through that you haven't been able to get over. So I had to stop seeing my past disappointments, I'm gonna look at this, and failures as events or experiences that defined me and held me back. I know that's a mouthful, but that's what I was doing. I can't even dream because that happened. I can't move forward because what if? I could what if all day long, right? We all could. Well, what if they say no? Well, what if they don't like me? What if they reject me? What if they never you email me back? Well, what if? Good Lord, it's crippling. But I was doing it. So, we didn't get that assignment we wanted to. I can make a lot of excuses. Here's some. We didn't get that position we wanted. So we can't progress in our military career. We didn't get that assignment, so we don't get to live where we want to. I kept saying we because, like I said, I had decided that his career defined me. That his assignment, that his job, that his whatever was my lot. And I had to really get over it. It was limiting me to the point of halting. I couldn't move. And it would drive him nuts. He said, Lauren, what's your dream? Like, when we get out of the Air Force, where do you want to live? And I would look at him like this. And he would go, seriously? So, well, I mean, we have soccer tomorrow. Can we focus on that first? And I have to go to the grocery store. I couldn't see past tomorrow, let alone 5 years, 10 years, because I was so tired of even entertaining the thought of more and of dreams and then them being shattered. But that's kind of what I'm getting at. We'll get there, just wait. So here's the ugly part. So I let situations and experiences hold me back, but here's the ugly part, and this is the emotional part. So get ready. No, I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna cry. I say that, but we'll see. What about that ugly, disappointing, disgraceful eating disorder I lived with for so many years? That thing I was hiding, the diuretics I would take and then lie about them. When people wanted to care about me, I would brush them aside because I didn't want their help. I didn't want them in my life. I wanted to be in control of everything I was doing. Gosh, even that was holding me back. Even sharing that part of me was allowing me to be a fake because I wasn't owning it. I wasn't saying that is a part of me and look how I progressed through that. Look how I've grown through that. That is a part of me and it's something that I needed to own. So those deep, dark, ugly things that kept me from getting to know others, those roadblocks, those barriers, those walls I had built because I didn't want to let anybody in, because I didn't want to get hurt, because I didn't want anyone to see that I wasn't perfect. But good Lord, that's impossible, and no one can be perfect. So, I'm going to show you how this all led up to Beachbody. At 23, I started running. Like literally running. But doctors had told me I couldn't. I have severe asthma, and they said you'll never be able to run, you'll never be able to compete. One doctor even told me my lungs would explode. That was fun. I was like, I'm sorry, what? He said, your lungs would literally explode. And I looked at his medical degree like, okay, it's legit. Really? And so, those things that people share with you and tell you, these experts, they start to affect you. So I was like, okay, I can't run. Well, and if I run and it hurts, I gotta stop. No, you have to grow through it. You have to grow through the pain. You have to push yourself to the point where it hurts, and you have to make your body change. So, I'd also been told I couldn't and I wouldn't have children, but I have the text to prove I have at least one. And my son is 12, and he is energetic and healthy because of my eating. He's not healthy because of my eating disorder. I was told I couldn't have kids because of my eating disorder, because I had severely damaged my body to the point where it would never recover. That was in my head. I had let that defeat me, define me. I have 2 kids. So, since then, like I said, 2 healthy kids. I've medaled in many races, I've grown, I've pushed myself to the point of complete and utter pain in order to achieve a goal. All these things leading up to the love of fitness, being that front row bandit at the Turbo Kick class where your instructor says you need to get certified. Anyone heard of Turbo Kick? Turbo Fire? Yeah, Turbo Kick is the gym program that Shalene put together, which is pretty much Turbo Fire. That was my first introduction to the group fitness and to Beachbody-ish. But what is really cool is Turbo Jam had been introduced to me 9 years before. And that's how I lost my baby weight with my son. So I'm trying to show you how all these life experiences are coming together, right? They are part of the story that has unfolded and 3 years ago becoming a Beachbody coach. So Turbo Jam was given to me by a neighbor. He illegally copied it. I can give you his name later if you're a lawyer. And I used that while I was living with my parents. My husband was in training. I memorized that name. I loved it. I was all about it. And Mindy Lawhorn is in the front row doing the modifier, just biggest grin on her face, and I got to meet her. And she's a real person. And it's this big family, like Beachbody's this thing. And then Janelle Summers, Shalene's talking about her little sis, and And there's Janelle Summers, like, with us at Summit, and I know her, and it's the craziest journey ever. And I just got off on a tangent just then, didn't I? So, these are real people. Like, we are this one big happy family with Beachbody. We are. And when, Chitana said, Team Beachbody, yes, we are all one team with one mission and one goal, which is to help others live healthy and fulfilling lives. Probably sound like an infomercial. So, what happened next? I'm a runner, everything's great, we're still in debt, haven't met Team Beachbody yet. I was injured, sidelined. I was no longer the fast girl, I was no longer the one winning the races, and I had to turn to weights, a little program called Pump. Love it. Are we allowed to say pump now though? No, it's still a thing. Okay, I turned to weights and Beachbody program. Again, it added muscle, forced me to accept changes in my body. But it was really hard for someone with body dysmorphia to see my body change, get bigger, develop muscle, and have to eat differently. But I got to share, and it was at that point that I shared my story. I got on my Light page. I was a coach by now. I'd been a coach for 4 months. And I hit that roadblock, hit that wall, where I'd exhausted all my friends. I had multiple check marks next to their name. I followed up with them 3 times, and I had to do something else. So the something else was I had to get over myself. I had to share my true story. And I remember sitting down and pouring out my heart. Not because I wanted sympathy, not because I wanted someone to go, oh, I'm sorry about that. It's because I knew that I had to share my real story in order to move past the roadblock I had set in front of me and reach people. So I poured out my heart and shared my story about my past, about my eating disorder, about my insecurities and my fears, and what happened next. The response was amazing. Women, teens, moms, sisters, aunts, messaging me, thanking me for being real and raw. Teenage girls saying you're the first person who had the courage to share. I would love to talk to you because no one else gets it. So, that ugly, disgusting thing was the light that somebody else needed. It was exactly what they needed to hear at that specific time in their life. And it wasn't for me. It was for me to get over it. But it ended up being so much more for so many more people. That was like the wall had been knocked down, the Band-Aid had been ripped off, whatever you want. And it opened me up to be okay with sharing, okay with being not so perfect. Because people only see what you put out on social media. If you don't share the real story, the ups and the downs, the real raw you, all they see are the and nobody can relate with that. Nobody can live up to that. They come to you and go, I wish I was successful as you, and I'm like, oh sister, let's just talk about how many ups and downs there have been. Let's talk about the growth that has happened from the bottom, where I've gone crashing down and had to really understand and find my why again. Those things happen. But if you don't share them, and if you don't get real with yourself, and if you're looking at everybody else, trying to figure out what works for them and maybe it'll work for you, you're never gonna be authentically you. You won't, because you have not allowed yourself to own it. So, getting past the roadblocks I placed and sharing because it was something I needed to do for healing and growth. So, why do we share? Why do we invite? We all know the answer. It's to inspire. It's to help. It's to change and it's to heal. But here's the cool part about our job. We all have that ability and that freedom to do it as coaches. We've been given this platform and it's up to us to use it. I've been given this stage to share whatever I wanted to today, which is kind of like, a little direction please? But I got to share whatever was on my heart. And this was what poured out of me on the plane yesterday, and now I have it on my phone. Here's the other thing that we have to allow ourselves. We are all so unique and so special, so different. I love the superhero costumes, by the way, because you are all superheroes. And it's kind of fun to put on that costume, but we live it every day, no matter what we wear, no matter what our hair looks like, no matter where we are in the world, no matter what size, anything, weight. We're all superheroes if we choose to put on the cape and get out there and share. So, a coach the other day said, I have a huge list of things I want to reach out to, but what if? What if they don't respond? What if they reject me? What if they mock me? What if they roll their eyes? I said, so what? And? I mean, we go through life what-ifing everything, right? We can't, because I did. But I'd like to switch it now. What if you are the first and only person to reach out to them? What if you are the only person to ever care or ever understand? How about we flip the what if? What if you're the one person that is going to help them change? What if they've been waiting for you to get over yourself, to share, to reach out? You have to look at it that way. Every person you reach out to is a seed just waiting to sprout. And it's up to you, no matter when they sprout, to water that, to give a little light, a little sunshine, a little love, and they'll sprout when they're ready. But you don't get to decide when. You just invest in them. So here's what I want to leave you with. You don't have to overcomplicate things. Let your hair down, share, because you have a gift that is worth sharing. It comes in this neat little box. It says Team Beachbody on it. All you have to do is open it. And that's so funny because that's what I tell my challengers. They're like, got my box. Great. Now what? Did you open it? Nope. Hey, there's step one. Comes with this really cool guy. We have that gift for people. We give them this gift. We have a conversation with them. We open up our lives to them. We share the opportunity with them. It's up to them to do what they want to with it, just like with all of our fitness programs, just like with Shakeology. They never open the bag. They never get to experience what it's like to put Shakeology in their body, right? Same thing with this. You've got to invest in them. You've got to give to people. You have to share your story. And this isn't about you. It's about the people you will reach and the lives you will forever change. One person sharing on Facebook, thing we kind of love to hate, changed my life. And I'm forever grateful to her. Doesn't matter if she's successful or not in her business. Doesn't matter if she has a bad day or a good day, she's forever changed my life. And I'll be forever grateful that God put her into my life at that precise moment when I needed it the most, because it was the perfect moment. Just like the plot of a story, I was a literature teacher, so here's that little part of this. Each chapter reveals something new that contributes to the ending, but this is not the end. We're still writing a story. You're writing an incredible story. We never really go back to our chapter 2 and 3 because we're on chapter 7 and 8 and we're still writing. But I like how our lives unfold. I like how you can look back at 10 years ago, a little program called Turbo Jam that introduced me to Beachbody. Going to that specific gym and meeting that specific instructor who told me, you're gonna be a Turbo Kick instructor. I never taught one single class, by the way. I don't get choreography. I'm like, ooh. But I wanna be in the front row. That led to another thing. That led to another thing. My husband not getting that assignment, moving to California, not moving, my job. I had to give up my job to be at that perfect point where I was looking for Beachbody and Beachbody was looking for me. But then to be able to grow through this business that doesn't care what you look like, that doesn't care what size you are, doesn't care about your past, all they care about is, do you want to help people live healthy and fulfilling lives? And do you want to embrace that and live it daily and share it? And share how simple this is. Just show up, just share. I just want you to know you have, ooh, that was loud, you have, oh my gosh, you have an incredible story to tell. If you don't take the time to really sit and be quiet and think back, you're missing so much that you can give to people. And don't discount any little thing that pops into your mind. Share it, because you are going to reach somebody. They might not ever come back to you and say, that impacted me. Maybe not immediately. But at some point, they're going to say, I've been following you for a while, and I've been seeing what you've been sharing, and you inspire me. And that is just a weight to know that you have an impact and that you have that reach. So, I really didn't have a great way to end, other than you're still writing that story. Don't ever be ashamed or scared of anything you've been through in the past, because someone else needs to hear that you have grown through it and that you have overcome it. And look where you are now. They need to know that there's more, and you need to instill that belief in them and let them know that they're not alone. Thank you.